Hello everyone, it is I, J5, the Hyperforce. You know, the one, the guy who created Hyperforce All-Stars. And welcome to the final commentary track, the one for episode 8. Which, as you will see in a minute, is dubbed as season finale. There might be a season 2 starting off with episode 9, but I don't know. Depends on how much Armatolum and University is going to take out of my life. Probably every single fibre of my life. Like, uni and Armatolum together. Josh, what is your life? Programming a visual novel and doing my university work. That's what my life is. But, if you know from the last commentary, or just like, you know these episodes' development, you know that this episode and episode 7 was developed at the same time, so this technically finished production before 7, but it's the last episode out because, let's play the episode, because the whole idea behind this episode is that Marek has taken over Beat Undera, similar to how Eggman did in Sonic Forces. I would like to state that at the time of finishing episode 8, Green Hill Zone was revealed for Sonic Lost World. yeah, it's called Windy Hill, Josh. No, Green Hill Zone was confirmed for Sonic Forces. So that's as latest news we got when I finished this episode. I put in the Green Hill music at the end of this episode to reference that. So, in the last scene where J-Star and Nerine travel back in time, it plays the Green Hill theme from Sonic Forces, so yeah, that's kind of a timestamp there. This was made before Custom Hero and Infinite were revealed to us, so yeah, this episode could have been a way better parody of Sonic Forces, but it was made back when we only knew that, oh, Eggman took over 99% of the world, and there's the 1% fighting back, so that's kind of the whole idea that this episode is. Marek has fully taken over Beat Undera somehow. Well, if you're watching this commentary track, I will assume that you've actually seen the episode already, and it's that, he shot J-Star with a time-distorting gun, and, well, J-Star was waiting out the time stream for a bit, so Marek took that opportunity to take over the world! Or at least Beat Undera. But yeah, there is a nice little detail here. In the episode order here, what comes after 8? Armatolum Showdown. But, this episode, it's a bit washed out from what I originally planned, because I was originally going to have a third person follow J-Star and Nerine to be the third playable character. At the time of making this episode, nobody knew it was going to be a custom hero. I mean, there was speculation, but it wasn't confirmed to be custom hero. But I wanted to put in a really edgy character to be the third person in this, but then I kind of just thought I couldn't think of anything really that well, so I just sort of left it. Also, like, the whole thing with the custom hero and Infinite, like, how would I be able to parody that in this episode? Like, seriously. Like, I know that there's people out there that have outright asked me if they could be in Hyperforce All-Stars, and I've had to reject them because, well, it's my cast of characters. But, yeah, Ashley and Annie only really got in because they, I guess you could say IRL benefits, but no, but first of all, how would you do a custom hero in this unless the entire episode is done in a first person perspective? Now that would just be awkward to do. I guess that could be something that you can do. The entire episode is done in first person and the hero's just mute. But and then how do you explain the scenes with Marek and then what? I don't know. Maybe it's only first person when you're with J-Star and Nerine. And then Infinite. Unless they actually use Infinite, who the hell would be the Infinite counterpart in this? What, like some sort of dark J-Star? Wait, that's R-Star.
Oh, so
But despite the lacking connections to Sonic Forces other than the idea of just bad guy taking over sort of idea. Oh yeah, and the Ishtar clown mechs. They're a parody of the Death Egg robots, but besides from that, this episode really isn't Sonic Forces too much. Just Marek took over the world sort of plot, which kind of was just the idea. It was inspired by Sonic Forces though, so that's why I credited Sonic Forces in the credits at the end here. But yeah, I think these are some of the best Sexy Bot Brigade scenes in the entire series. I mean, episode 5 did have its good ones, but like episode 8, this episode is just one of the greatest episodes for Marek. I just like how the Sexy Bot Brigade are in this episode. They're really, I want to say that they're really funny, but then that's kind of tooting my own horn, isn't it? I don't know. With his freaking side mouth because he's Sonic, mate. And then his boobs are in front of her arms, despite the fact that the normal layering on that character model would be that the boobs are behind the arms, but oh well. There's your typical Fubi cameo, and I think that's the last time we ever see him. Aw, poor little Fubi. You had one job and you fucked it up! Yeah, welcome to Marek. Of course you'd fuck it up. It is Marek after all. But yeah, this episode is probably one of the best in terms of Marek, Bakura, and Grump. You know, just Sexy Bot Brigade in general. You're probably wondering where William is. I kind of didn't want to write him in the episode because I couldn't be asked. I guess you could say he died while trying to do this. Also, Sonic Generations tricking, but I couldn't actually gain the sound effects I wanted, so it just ended up using that sound effects instead. But yeah, every single pose that J-Star did there was a reference, including the last one, which was his old artwork pose. It started with his new artwork pose, and it ended with his old one. Kind of like how, when you end a trick combo in Sonic Generations, it ends with the Sonic Adventure pose. Also, screaming as the Ishtar bots was definitely one of the funniest, like, greatest parts of the episode for me. Just sat there shouting, "Exterminate, Violate!" It was definitely a funny venture. Also, this scene was made specifically to be as edgy as I wanted it to be. Like, people are gonna watch this episode and think that I'm, unironically trying to be edgy, but no, this was all intentionally edgy. Like, the whole thing about Sakura being dead triggering a dark mega evolution for J-Star, which is coming up right here. Behold, Edge. The dark mega evolution. The whole idea that Sakura got killed. What else? Oh yeah, Nerine about to burst into tears at the end of this scene. Like, this episode was written to be edgy. Because Sonic Forces really does seem like it's going to be absolutely edgy. Like, edgy Sonic is back, mate. But, you know, because it's like, have you seen the bloody trailer for Sonic Forces? Like, the initial teaser trailer? It was so edgy. And then Classic Sonic just appeared up like, hey! But, yeah, it's like, Sonic Forces really does seem like it's going to be a bit edgier than some of the more recent ones, like Lost World and, Colors and Generations, even though that Lost World kind of has a little bit of edge to it if you look hard enough. I mean, Zavok is a bit of a disastrous person. Also, I only just noticed that the seam in the scene there is really fucking bad. Also, I can't do tentacle animations. I couldn't be bothered. But, yeah, this entire episode was written to be intentionally edgy. I don't want people thinking I wrote this as a genuine thing. I don't want people to think that Hyperforce All-Stars is a genuine thing. It's meant to be a comedy. So the edge that's written into this episode was made for humorous purposes. Also, that PK fire, that shouldn't have came from there. It should have came from higher up, but I only noticed that after the scene was rendered, and I couldn't be asked to change it, so... Do you know how long it takes to fucking render? Do you know how long a typical render takes? It's like more than it should. But yeah, again, I don't have massive render houses like Disney and stuff like that. Also, the scene here with wherever the hell these two are, it's meant to be a parody of the Silver, like Silver's boss fight from Sonic 06. It's meant to be a parody of that arena. Also, Nerenet crying here is meant to be Edge. This episode is edgy. But yet J-Star Mills still makes a face like that! It's Hyperforce also, so it can't be too edgy. And even if it is, it's trying to be funny with its edge. I don't know, does it work? Does it work, folks? I have no idea. Also that transition where the music just cuts in, it's like Marek's shattered ego. But yeah, this commentary is being recorded on the day it uploads, like at 2 p.m. 2 a.m. Jesus Christ. No, 2 p.m. Also, this is one of the best Crumb scenes. This is one of the best scenes, period. Not in this episode, just in this series. Like, I tend to laugh at my own jokes because I sometimes forget, like, what I end up doing. I forget what I do. And then just Bakura subtly shaking head. And then you just wait a moment and... once Crumb's done with his yaoi shit. Now his head is really twitching. Like, there's a lot of personality that goes into these animations, I feel. Like, episode 5 definitely was the right stepping stone for the series and just how I animate in general. Would you like to dress in a penguin suit? Crumb is not happy. Yeah, this episode is definitely, I want to say, this is the pinnacle of what I've done in Hyperforce All-Stars. This has to be the best episode in terms of its presentation. In terms of its story, I kind of prefer 5. But, I don't know. Oh look, here's edgy Hyperforce. And the Ishtar clown card with its arms. Because, yeah, Bowser Jr.'s clown card ends up gaining arms, so... why not have Marek's Ishtar clown car have some arms on it? I don't know, maybe springy arms that they could extend outwards. Because, you know, video game, arms. You probably wondered what was censored there. It's a, you unforgivable C word. I kind of wanted to censor it because, I don't know, I just felt like it was a little bit too much. With J-Star having a dark voice and then just saying, you unforgivable cunt. Yeah, again, I shout that in my LPs, so whatever. How do you Vulcan jab with a flipper? Can I just ask that? How do you Vulcan jab with a flipper? Well, it is Vulcan jab, not Vulcan punch, so... You really are just jabbing someone then, aren't you? That's the only time Bakura has ever been seen with his eyebrows up. Yeah. Like, that's the only time you've ever seen Bakura with his eyebrows not permanently stuck on his face in permanent annoyance. Because I think you've noticed that the eyebrows kind of have like 4 different states. Curved upwards, curved downwards, sort of annoyed, straight, and like normal. I think that's like the only time in this entire series you ever see Bakura with his eyebrows as standard. Look, there it is! Just back to being annoyed! Yeah, again, that is Bakura's character, just constantly being annoyed. That's a Marek out of nowhere, because his plan is fucked up. He's no longer gonna have the world to himself. Here's the scene with the Sonic Forces Green Hill music. Also, the sand in the background, yeah, reference to the Green Hill Zone in Forces, which is turning more into a desert. And I have no idea, like, where did the sand come from? It came from the pipe, but why is there sand coming from the pipe? Don't question it, it's Hyperforce All-Stars. And oh yeah, this whole thing with J-Star like doing a bottle flip while having the bottle land on his hand while he's dabbing. I wanted a really stupid reason. I wanted that, like, Marek being able to take over the world. I wanted it to be a really stupid reason as to why J-Star gets shot through time. So I ended up thinking of a bloody meme shit, which is like a bottle flip and a dab at the same time. If fidget spinners were out at the time of this recording, I might have included a fidget spinner. Yet again, I may have not, because fidget spinners are way more toxic than just a simple dab and a bloody bottle flip. Like, at least a bottle flip takes skill to do, you know, properly and stylishly. So, you know, doing a bottle flip while the bottle lands on your hand while you're dabbing, that would take lots of skill. Because how would you balance it on your hand? What if your hand's, like, really wobbly? You get the bottle flip right, but then it just falls off your hand. Yeah, I wanted J-Star's failure in this episode to be absolutely stupid, so I just thought, bottle flip, dabbing. That is really stupid. Let's have it be canon. Also, I've triggered a lot of Sakustar shippers with this scene. J-Star got a kiss off Sakura and Nerine. He just needs one from Haruhi next. But, yeah, this is season finale, so we're never going to really see that. Time paradoxes are weird. So, yeah, so this version of J-Star has the memories of the Forces J-Star, but the Forces timeline doesn't exist. So, J-Star and Nerine are the only ones who remember that timeline, because they came from that timeline and it's sort of fused with this timeline's J-Star and Nerine. But yeah, that little scene where you see Sakura, Haruhi, and Nerine just all chatting, that's meant to show that, well, the Force's timeline has been erased. Because now, Sakura and everybody else is fine. Despite the fact that the Force's timeline takes place like 2 months after J-Star's disappearance, but J-Star this time didn't disappear, so, no Force's timeline, because he's gonna be there to stop Marek. You know, whenever Marek starts something. Victory, beat him on. Like, that doesn't appear in the episode until, like, after this credit scene. But I wanted to credit it anyways. Like Fist Bump with the previous episode, when I used the Fist Bump theme for the teaser, because Fist Bump is Sonic Force's main theme, so yeah. Yellow Solidin, wait, what? Yellow didn't appear in this episode! What are you on about, Josh, you dickhead? I'm not good at these commentary things. I went into these without a bloody script. But I do feel like Forces is probably one of the better episodes. It's probably like second favorite episode, really. Like, the Sexy Bot Brigade scenes are definitely some of the best ones. Especially for those who are big fans of Marek or Crump. To be fair, I am kind of a big fan of Marek, because he's really fun to write. And, I hope Francois in, Francois in Armatalum Showdown will be just as good, because Francois is gonna be, like, my own Marek, I guess you could say, even though my own Marek is actually my own Marek. Because he's definitely not like the original Yu-Gi-Oh's Marek, and he's not like abridged Marek, he's sort of my own Marek at this rate. Hyperforce All-Stars Marek. Based off the abridged personality, but there's definitely a difference between the abridged and the HFAS personality of Marek Ishtar, leader of the Sexy Bot Brigade. Speaking of which, there he is. Is this him screaming about, yeah, I think this is him screaming about, Brick by Brick. You know, that song. Episode 7 and 8's dialogue was all recorded in one day. The same day. So, yeah. Hence why Marek is singing, Brick by Brick, because Tristan did it earlier. Actually, I think I recorded the dialogue for 8 first, then I did 7. Because I decided to do this episode, and then later on I thought, you know what, I may as well still do the Darkwing episode, so I did episode 8's recordings, and then I did episode 7's. And, you can paint a jet ski yellow like a duck. If you block the road, you're gonna get towed brick by brick. Yeah. Just a bit of a production behind the scenes there. Yeah, these 2 episodes were pretty much made at the same time, despite the fact that the script for episode 7 was made months before. Like, straight after 6. And then I was tired out from animation, so I wanted to take a big break. I wanted to take a break from animation. And then when I felt like doing it again, I came up with the idea of Sonic, well, Hyper Forces, inspired by Sonic Forces. And then, yeah. And then I just thought, you know what? If Hyper Forces is going to be the last episode, I may as well make Darkwing Hyperforce, because I did promise that that'd be a thing. So, you know, and I kind of forced myself to write Darkwing Hyperforce because of the teaser at the end of episode 6, so it's just like, gotta get that done first, then I'll upload Forces. I decided to make both episodes at the same time, and then bada bing, bada boom, 8 got finished before 7 because of the whole Sakura voice issue, and then, yeah, we've finished all the episodes, and now it's time to move on to our Metal Showdown. Are you ready to throw down a showdown, Binky boy? Because you're a level leaving higher. So that was the entirety of Hyperforce All-Stars, commentated by me, the creator of Hyperforce All-Stars. It's definitely better than Star Stories. Definitely better than Star Stories. Yeah, again, Star Stories was made back when I was a young adolescent at pre-teen age. Well, actually, like, young teen age, because it was like 13, 14, I think, around there. While Hyperforce All-Stars started production in, like, when I was 17? 18? Now 19. Gonna be 20 soon. Jesus Christ. I'm as old as Pyrocynical! That is terrifying. Anyways. Yeah, Hyperforce All-Stars. It was definitely a series that somewhat put me on the map. It put me into some people's heads. But hopefully our Maslam Showdown will be an even better success than this, because this is just for fun. Our Maslam Showdown is for glory, if you want to use Smash Brothers terms. Our Maslam Showdown is like my Kirby. It's my Yandere Simulator. It's my Undertale. Hopefully with not as cancerous as a fanbase, even though it probably will get as cancerous a fanbase. If it gets a fanbase in the first place! All of the Hyperforce All-Stars original characters will show up in our Maslam Showdown in one way or another, either as big cameos or small cameos. Why did my bloody window for the internet just pop up in front of the goddamn video? You won't see that because this will be a blank screen or whatever I'm going to put at the end of these end slates here. But all of my Hyperforce All-Stars original characters will show up in our Maslam Showdown in some way or form. This sort of energy that Hyperforce All-Stars has will be in our Maslam Showdown. Won't be as vulgar, though, because... yeah, if you haven't noticed, throughout the production, there's been less and less swear words throughout each of the episodes. In fact, I think episode 8 has the least. Despite the one that was censored. And then, I think Neride calls Barak a dickhead. Yeah, there's been less and less swearing because I've been trying to move away from that because that's kind of... swearing out of random can work, it's just that if you do it more often than not, it tends to get stale. So, our Maslam Showdown won't be swearing at all because I kind of want to keep the rating not high or low or... like, at the very most, I want it to be a teen. If it goes M, I am backtracking to try and get it back to a T. Like, PG would be great because then it would be like, oh, anyone can play it then. Sure, parental guidance. Actually, that's like... I'm using film bloody ratings when I should be using game ratings. But what's like a PG equivalent in video games? What is the ESRB version of a PG? What's the PEGI PG? PEGI 10? Something like that? I'm out on Showdown at PEGI 10, and that'd be like great. Because E, I won't be able to get an E because of some of the subject matters that Amatlum would tackle. Or maybe it can get an E, but then it kind of seems a bit stale. Not stale, but a little bit watered down from what I want it to be. What was I on about? Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, Amatlum Showdown. Mate, I know that a lot of people are going to be upset about Hyperforce All-Stars ending, but I need to move on. And, well, this commentary track and the automatic subtitle reactions are, well, a part of the, I guess you could say the goodbye party to Hyperforce All-Stars. I want to make this absolutely clear. Hyperforce All-Stars is not dead. I guess you could say it's retired? On a long vacation? If something Hyperforce All-Stars related pops up, then it will pop up. I'm not completely abandoning the series, but Amatlum Showdown, it's next. I have to do it next. I can't just keep on making these silly episodes. I need to move on. I need to move forward. Instead of actually writing silly, how about for once I actually try? That makes it sound like I don't try with these episodes. I try with Hyperforce All-Stars, but what I mean is, like, I can't just keep on making Hyperforce All-Stars. Even though I'd love to, I can't. I have to come up with my own property at some point. I have to move forward as a content creator. No longer making this bootleg Smash Brothers. I need to make my own thing now. It's time to move on to our Amatlum Showdown. And I hope you guys understand and follow Amatlum Showdown, because I guess you could say that Amatlum Showdown is going to be Hyperforce All-Stars but better. I'm not going to reveal what Amatlum Showdown really is, even though I kind of dropped that it's a visual novel. It's something like that. I will just say it's a visual novel. I'll let you think about that for a moment. But yes, I need to move on. I need to step forward in life and actually make something that I can really call my own. Amatlum Showdown. Maybe based off a Beat'em, but it's my own property. It's something that I can call my own. And yeah, Hyperforce All-Stars is my own, but then there's like 20 million different things in it that aren't mine. Marek, probably the best character in the series, isn't mine, technically. Hopefully Francois will be a good replacement, but we'll just have to see. I need to move on to our Amatlum Showdown, and then we can see what's going on there. I'll actually make a video detailing about our Amatlum Showdown and what I'm going to do with it, but in the meantime, I just hope you lot aren't too mad at me for ending Hyperforce All-Stars and then, like, focusing on our Amatlum Showdown for the rest of my fucking life. If something Hyperforce pops up, don't think it's the big return. It's just like a fun little side project that I did to, not OD myself on our Amatlum Showdown, because I'm not going to do what Yandere Dev has done to himself. I'm not going to OD myself on Amatlum like he did on his own game project. I will do whatever I want. So if there is an episode 9, there will be an episode 9. However, it will probably be, like, stupidly short. Yet again, this entire series was meant to be short, and, like, most of the episodes are, like, TV length. whatever. I've rambled on too long. Hyperforce, the episode. Hyperforce is the episode. It's a good episode, and it's a good way to end off the series with one of Marek's biggest successes. And then Vulcan jabbing as a penguin! Isn't that a good metaphor? Vulcan jabbing as a penguin. It's not even a metaphor. Got a jet, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you on the flip side. That flip side being our Armatolum Showdown. I hope you follow me on the Armatolum hype train. Because the Hyperforce 1 has stopped at its destination. Which is Armatolum Showdown. Yeah. Okay, I need to end this. Bye.